This guy is about to become full moon sauerkraut. I don't want to like emphasize this too much, but I do need to make sauerkraut right now. Okay, bye. Like that. I'm gonna shred it. Cabbage is falling everywhere. There's cabbage on the floor. Cabbage. My mind is a cabbage. Nutritious, no baggage. No. Cabbage baggage. My mind. Shit, more like cabbage. My mind. Learning to like not do melody. I mean, not do lyrics so much and do more melody in many songs because I just make up melody to get fun. The words are like the words. So I'm just gonna put some salt in this and let it get soft. My mind is a cabbage. My mind like a cabbage, inert without baggage. At least I've got nothing to worry about. No. Let it sweat. Let it sweat. Just doing some magic in the forest. Subtly, people. I'm just hiking a little bit now. This is describing the scene that I would put if I knew how to do that quickly. Oh, we are entering a new era right now, and it's quite incredible. This is the beginning of a new era. This is the beginning of a new era. This is the beginning of a new era. That's a big thing, an era. It's a really big thing. We're at the beginning of a new era. It's like hard to compute. That doesn't register. What? Eras don't last years. They don't last a year for sure. They don't last a few years. They don't last a decade. They don't even last a few decades. Eras last hundreds of years. Eras last hundreds of years. And this is the beginning of a new one right now. wow. That, like, it's hard to really to understand what that means. I have to like stop and feel it, resonate with it. It's the beginning of an era. It's the beginning of an era. And what a time to be alive right now as a human being on the earth. Human beings are faced with many choices at the moment. Like, where do we put my camera? I'm gonna learn how to do this. So it's the beginning of an era now. That's immense. Like, make myself resonate with it. Where we are, when we are right now. When are we in time right now? So human beings are faced with many choices at the moment. And I think we've made some of them, actually. I think we've made all the best choices so far. Look at this little tree. Hello, look at this tree. This lovely tree. So pretty sure we've made some pretty good choices, but we still have some choices to make this year, this next few months, pretty much. They're related to many things. I would say they're related a lot to sustainability and connecting with the earth and choosing to connect with the earth. Parts of ourselves that we don't even know are there. Parts of ourselves that give us so much joy that we don't even realize are parts of ourselves. Often projected onto anything that isn't us, that we perceive in our realities. Activists, people who love nature that aren't us, I don't know. People who are healthy that is not us. So we have choices to make about this. Are we gonna become sustainable? Are we gonna choose to become sustainable? Are we gonna be forced to become sustainable with cataclysms? I personally know what I would choose, but I understand that it's like hard to really stomach it and really process what's gonna happen if we don't make that decision. Because the earth is part of us. It's who we are. This is part of human being. Our bodies evolved with the earth. They feed on the earth. They're made of the earth. This is part of our culture. This is part of our identity. And if we choose to deny that part of our identity, then I don't even want to imagine. I think another really important thing that's going to be part of this new era is the theme of tolerance. Learning to embrace diversity. Learning to embrace people who are not like us, who don't think like us, who have different values. A lot of us say that we are tolerant and that we are loving, but are we actually? What actually happens when we encounter people who really don't think like that, think like us? We just call them crazy. Honestly, that's what's happening now, it seems. I'm not gonna get into that, but is it possible to learn that it's okay to not think like everyone else? That we can all think differently and we can still get along. And not only the way we think, that's just one aspect of our identity, obviously. There's some more obvious ones like our skin color, our ethnicity, our origins, our ancestry, our sexuality, our gender, our religions, our citizenship. Ooh, that's a big one, actually. There's a whole bunch of things that our finances, our supposed class, our social power, or what we were born into, or what we managed to create. Deeming that a good thing. I'm not saying anything is necessarily good or not. So, tolerance. Can we own our own identity, create our own identity, and be curious and be embracing other people's? And can we embrace people who have different values than us? Because it seems that we don't have an easy time with this, that we feel threatened to the core. when we encounter people who have different values than us? Can we learn to go beyond our need for survival, our terror of death, and in a way die to the identities that cannot let go of themselves? It doesn't mean we'll lose who we are, but it's like letting go of our attachment to who we are. I also want to mention sovereignty because that's another big theme. And I just mentioned these themes casually, but these are the directions of civilization right now. We sort of have it cut out for us. The work is, we have to become ecologically sustainable or we'll destroy one another and ourselves. We have to become tolerant of ourselves and one another or we'll destroy ourselves and one another. And also we have to become sovereign. And I'm not going to get too much into sovereignty because I don't really want to touch this subject now. I'm a bit cold outside because there's so much to say about it and I want to say everything that's needed to say. I don't want to just brush past it. And that's most of it. There's a few other things like medicine, obviously. Unprecedented developments in medicine are coming because of how much research and how much attention there is going to forever be, or for a long time be, towards human health. Realizing how much of a resource and a necessity it is that we are healthy. Wow. Medicine is going to develop in leaps and bounds. It's going to be incredible. The discoveries that are being made right now, that are going to be made, it makes me tear up because it's such a it's a cause that's so close to my heart. Not even a cause, it's just an area of human life that's so close to my heart. And I hate that it took this. I hate it. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think we have to deal with this pandemic another day, but that is my perspective. Peace. Peace is the name of the game. What does it mean, though? What is peace? What if peace is about our mental health? What if peace was not about... It wasn't about, coming to agreement about reality in our minds with one another, but understanding that we all perceive differently, we all think differently a little bit at least, and that's okay. Actually, mental health is a lot about diversity. It's a lot about creativity. No two artists are the same, but it's the same with our minds. No two minds are alike, and that's fine. That's beautiful. We have this homogenized version of mental health, and it's dangerous, and it serves capitalism, and I understand how it grew and how it's so prominent these days, but it seemed to be backfiring now because our version of mental health, what we normalize as mental health, is the version of thought these days that is creating a lot of destruction, a lot of difficulty for ourselves. Like, just the normal way of thinking, supposedly, is not really working at all. People who are thriving these days in 2020 and 2021 right now don't think like most people, I would say. Or they're super rich, but, currency can devalue very fast. Very, very fast. Just gonna say that. Not that it should, not that there should be some sort of collapse. I'm praying there will never be. I sort of antagonize a few things. I know I do, and I'm working on not doing that. So mental health is, what if it was about creativity? What if it was about embracing the nature of our mind as creative and embracing our bodies, understanding there's a connection between our minds and our microbiome and our minds and our nerve system, and that mental health is not about, fixing it to some predetermined state that's just the same for everybody. It's actually individualized, and it's also related to a very dynamic state of homeostasis. So there is a balance, but it's very dynamic. And right now we're just blazing through the microbiome of the world, like killing everything because we want to get rid of the virus. But this might not be the best approach. I think it's part of the approach. I don't think it's the whole thing. Or maybe it's just not the approach at all. This is the sauerkraut. I look like an elf for some reason. As you can tell, it was very delicious. I also added caraway seeds, which gives it a nice, distinct kind of deli flavor. It's a really easy thing to make. Sorry I didn't film the part where I pounded the cabbage into the jar. Pound it to the point that it releases all the juices, and then the juices have to cover the cabbage because it's an anaerobic fermentation process. You have to protect the the thing fermenting from all possible air. It's really easy. Once you ferment one thing, you just want to ferment everything. So, ta-da! These thoughts that I just wrote, and let's just do this. Let's not ask so many questions. Those of us on this earth who are not doing enough and who are asking questions about ourselves and doubting ourselves are the ones who need to be probably in politics, like on the world stage. And the ones of us who are not asking questions and just pummeling forth into the world, doing things that are causing immense damage, don't really ask. They're very confident, so let's be confident. Those of us, does red lipstick look good on me? No, it doesn't. Let's just take over the world, those of us who really have the best interest of the world at heart. I'm not saying do it recklessly, but don't hold back. And I'm speaking to myself also, and I'm speaking to you, okay? Take care of them, and they take care of me, because I'm a boat. I'm a party boat. Possibly a party boat for 100 trillion bacteria. Just make them happy. And they make me happy. It's my family.